Yeah. I said sorry for the air. I made my laugh smaller. Folded up my edges so nobody would bother. I wore your comfort like a coat.
And this is Alma. It's been a rough morning already, and it's barely 10:47. Welcome to We're Still Spiraling and Trying to Figure This Shit Out on a Saturday morning.
Oh my gosh. How funny that you say spiraling, because that's exactly where my head is right now. Goodness gracious. I've actually been slapping myself in the hand, been like, stop using the word spiraling, right? Because its connotation is a little negative, but I can't think of any other word to better describe my thoughts.
So I actually like the term spiraling, and I'll say why, because it was described to me as time, because they always say history repeats itself, but here's why we're going to say it in a different way now. How it repeats itself in a way now is the past is always going to present itself in the same way to us, just dressed in
Right.
different clothes, right? But we are going to elevate in a spiral where we have grown.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to look at it from a different perspective. So yes, spiral on, baby, because we are going to spiral up that staircase where life will present the same obstacles over and over again to see if we've grown. And that's just the test, right? And we just have to keep climbing those stairs, and it sucks because my legs are fucking tired.
Right. We were just talking a little bit a bit ago, and there's a song that I wrote, and one line stuck with me, and it kind of resonates right now. Is because the word spiraling, like I use it a lot because for me it wasn't a negative word. It was just simply, oh look, my thoughts are going, and I'm learning, and I'm growing, and all these things are happening in my head. But in the song I put they call your truth negativity, right? So the truth is, in this moment, yeah, I'm doing this, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have to be a negative thing. But I've felt that way from others. And so I just kind of grab that and stick it in there. That spiraling
Well,
is
and
bad.
I think we do that, right? I think we do that in life in general. I think we take everybody else's truth and we stick it to ours, and even though we may not always feel that way, but that's why we're here and why we're trying to shift our perspective on things and grow, right?
That's what you had
Yeah,
said last time, though. Like the kids are not affected by that yet. And so sometimes hearing the kids' truth is like, oh, right. Life can be
right.
that simple. We're making it
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, no, seriously, and that's like I like country dumb. My husband says the word, like the phrase country dumb sometimes, and like it's literally like that. Like try to be like make it as simple as possible. Like break it down.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're gonna talk about patterns, right? And I think we're in it right now, right? We're like, I
Yeah.
know for me, like this is what's really like weighing on my soul in this season of my life is like what's a pattern you've repeated in your life that took you way too long to recognize. So it can be relationships, friendships, jobs, financial habits, people pleasing, and then what finally made you realize it wasn't bad luck anymore, it was a pattern.
I wrote something down really powerful with that it's going to like make people cringe, okay? Because it made me cringe just writing it down and thinking of it. So I wrote, I thought I was strong and powerful. No one could make me feel less. And it's cringe because no one can make you feel less. But I created that idea, right? So like I just always had this confidence, as you know, which I love about myself. But then when I became a business owner, I was like, oh, okay, I am a people pleaser. Oh, okay, it's really difficult to tell people, no, you can't do that. This
Right.
isn't okay. Because it's not just a business boundary, it's a personal boundary as well. And I didn't realize that that was going to be difficult for me because I really thought that I was just this badass woman 24/7, and no, I'm actually very vulnerable and what would be the word, like sensitive. Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
No, and I think that resonates with me as well, because there are things that, you know, I work in senior living, and so we're dealing with things that are, and same with you, that you deal with people's insurance and finances and end of life
Yes.
money and sensitive, like, I mean, it's the one and the same with what we're dealing with, family dynamics and people's life, right?
Right.
And making those decisions and then having to sometimes give hard truths are that was very hard for me to do. And then I also didn't realize how uncomfortable it was to talk finances. We talked a little bit about this last one, because we don't talk, you know, money, politics, religion with people,
Right.
right? But that was boundaries, the one boundary I was taught growing up. And so when I had to start going through people's finances to tell them if they were qualified to live in these places, that was
Oh,
uncomfortable for me,
to have
because
to
it
tell them
was like
no.
me judging if they were worthy. And here, who am I?
Yes.
I don't have the money to live in these facilities, let alone tell you if you are worthy enough, you know? So to me, it was very, very hard to learn that, that I was sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah. This is gonna sound really silly, but I feel that way when I ask for people's occupation, right? Because they give discounts for, the nurse or policeman or
Hmm.
something like that, right? And just like anyone does. So this is why it sounds so silly, but I hate asking that question because if someone's like, "Oh, I work for blah blah blah," or "I do this," there's nothing small about that. It
Right.
doesn't matter.
No.
So I always feel taken back. I always feel awkward. I feel like I'm being judgy, even though that's not what I'm trying to do. I absolutely hate asking that question. I don't like making people feel judged or less than. And they might not even feel that way, but the fact that I feel that
Right.
inside, it kills
Right.
me. Oh, so I
Right.
get what you're saying. That's your job's got to be tough to say no.
Yeah. Yeah. It's anytime it's like money and, yeah, I just, no, I just don't like rejection again. And we'll get into my patterns
Oh,
later, and it comes to
rejection.
rejection. Yeah. It's,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh.
Um, yeah, no, I think that's powerful. Being sensitive, but I think being sensitive is an important part of who we are deep down. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think it's an important piece to learn about who we are and how we navigate life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Spiraling. I can still feel like I'm spiraling right now. Like I was sitting here having a conversation last night with ChatGPT, right? My best friend.
I know,
Just-
no, seriously, dude, therapy. I'm telling you, therapy.
And I'm like telling ChatGPT all these like feelings that I'm having. And it was really neat because by the end, it was kind of like, no, you're concerned about these things and you're growing instead of looking at it as a negative context that like, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking. Oh my gosh, what if, what, blah, 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 blah. It was, well, it's important to you. So that's why you're reflecting. It's good that you're reflecting. It's good that you're taking the time to ask yourself these questions and consider these things because your situation you're in is important to you.
Right.
Otherwise, you would just be like, fuck it, you know?
Right.
Oh, it was a really big conversation that I had. Poor little thing. It was like, you got 15 minutes left. Well, no, I need more.
I need more. I know, I hate that. I'm like, who are you to restrict what I need?
Oh, right. You don't know me. Okay, you know me a lot.
I know, you know me like really well, actually, scarily well. Yeah. So I tend to, well, mine comes from abandonment wounds. We've talked about that, but I have in the past chosen partners who can't grow with me at my pace. And
Oh,
so
that's huge.
therefore they're safe to leave. Um I don't have to trust that they'll stay. I don't have to worry if they'll leave. I don't have to worry because I'm never going to be fully invested. And I know that's a hard truth, but it's taken me 39 years to realize it. It's taken a lot of soul searching. I, at one point, tried to leave my current marriage because I was ready to just give up instead of work on it,
Hmm.
because that's what I do, right? That's a pattern of mine. But luckily, he's a great man and he's willing to stick it out, and he's like, no, we got something here, like I'm, and so and he is willing to grow too, and that's, I think that's important. And so, like we were talking earlier, you can have a relationship and still find yourself and still grow within. So you can't count that out, and you can't, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but you do have to do the internal work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had said it right before we started recording. I'm so afraid of not having a stable foundation because I felt like that's what I've had for the last 12 years, unrecognizing it when I was in it. But now, I needed a good, strong foundation for me to feel safe. And over the years, I did not feel safe. And took a long time for me to recognize that. And so now I'm just like, is this a good foundation? And I'm freaking out. And what about this? What about that? But you said something really amazing to me. And, we need to create our own foundation first and then combine with somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't say and then. I said the and then, and you were like, no, it can be one and the same. It can actually happen. That's scary for me. I think because I feel like I have to do everything alone. Otherwise, it's not real. I don't know. That's weird.
But that's a
But
pattern, right? Yeah.
speaking of patterns, it's just
Hyper
scary.
independence is a pattern because we're not trusting into someone, we're not falling into our
Yes.
partner. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they don't deliver, right, what does that look like? I don't know. And that's not fair to put that on them. So I'm like, well, I better just like hang on to this like a bunch of stuffed
But
animals
we
from when I
also
was
have to be
younger.
soft enough to allow them to deliver. And I've not been that for my husband. And we'll be married 6 years. I've not until like recently started to be soft enough. Um,
That's hard. I think it's
yeah,
so hard to be soft and learn and be strong, independent.
yeah.
Wow.
Because it's genuinely who we are. We're very strong women, and we're very independent women, but we need love too.
Yeah. I I know I'm doing it again. Um, it took a lot for me to say this. So the gentleman that I'm dating, I don't know how to classify in 2026 anymore, but it's a
Right, I
wonderful
know.
world.
Who's gonna
Um,
relate? I don't know.
I know. I had told him, I said, look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, if I'm really grumpy, or maybe I'm just a little short or just kind of standoffish, I probably just need a hug.
Right,
I probably just need you to be soft so that I can be soft.
right.
And that was huge for me to recognize. That was really big. And for me to say out loud, because saying what I want is scary. Because if I say it, I want it and I expect it and I'm
Mm-hmm.
hopeful. If I
Yeah,
don't say it, my hopes cannot be crushed.
right.
And so it was really scary to say that, but I did. I feel like it's a lot. I'm growing, but hence the
Well, and
spiraling.
I think that's the thing is like I'm tired of just not putting myself out there. And so like, and that's one of the things I'm learning in my job right now. So like I recently took on a new position, and it's new to me. I'm not new to the industry, but it's a new position where I'm now having to go in and ask for people's business, where I'm usually the one where people are asking me for the business, right? And
Hmm.
so I'm having to put my pride away. The tables have turned, right? So it's a little bit of a different ego strike, right? Which is
Right.
good for me. It's not a bad thing. It's a learning lesson. Um, and I don't remember exactly where I was going with this, but it's taught me a lot in just switching the perspective up,
Hmm.
to mentally just and also to look at people a different way, that and a challenge, and to get what I not get what I want, but just to kind of navigate the relationship, because I am a kind person and they're going to end up liking me if they'll just give me a shot, right?
Right.
And I know that about myself, and that is one thing I'm confident in as a person. Like I know I'm a cool ass person if you just give me a shot. Like
Right.
that I can like go to my grave on. But yeah. So Definitely does. So, okay, so what's something you blamed other people for that you later realized you were contributing to? Not from a place of shame, but from a place of growth. What did accountability teach you that blaming never could?
For me, and I'm looking at my notes because I wrote this down because this was a big one for me. This was a pretty big topic for me. Um, so I wrote like being mean, quote unquote, right? What is their definition of being mean? Knowing what I want. And
Yeah.
that was mean to people. And so I think that's when I started to like kind of just don't tell people because then you're not mean or you're not your expectation or anything like that. But I put that blaming means that you hold on to anger and never peace. You don't choose peace. So instead of blaming somebody or even yourself, I choose to look past it and just kind of move forward with growth and understanding and hopefully give myself some grace and the other people. Because I've learned as I get older and having kids, I think we've said this before, we don't know what we're doing as
No.
parents, as humans, as women, as adults. Remember, we used to think 40 was old?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Like,
like,
I would have it all figured out now. Like,
yes.
I would look back at my teachers, like, they didn't go to bars and drink. They didn't go to Applebee's and have, like,
Hmm.
they didn't have anything outside of being a teacher. Like, my world was very
Right,
naive. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, I was a very naive person. Still am in ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hugely. And I look back at kids that are talking like that, and I'm like, oh, I did that.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. I was the same way. But it
Yep.
takes experience, right? And so that's what I love about the podcast is at the end of the day, if we get nothing from it, the experience that we are sharing hopefully is going to help someone grow a year sooner than they would have
Right.
because experience is what's making us grow. I don't think that anyone can really write a book and say at 49, at 35, at 55, this is what you should know. I don't think it's quite black and white, and we're going to be naive to it until we get there.
Right, I agree. And if just one person listens and it hits, like it resonates with them and they can
Mhm.
learn their pattern a year sooner, like you said, let it be that, right?
Yes, totally.
I was blaming other people because they weren't meeting my needs, but subconsciously I was choosing that, right? Because it goes back to my pattern.
Right.
I was choosing that.
Right. Yeah,
And again, it comes down to that accountability. I think, again, I don't want to blame people because I don't want to hold the resentment. I don't want to hold hate in my heart. I don't
yes.
hold hate in my heart. I don't,
Yeah.
I mean, my music might sound like I do, but that's where I get it out at. And then it doesn't stay there. Like,
Hmm.
I don't have trouble going to sleep at night. I don't, none of that.
I
None
sleep
of it.
like a baby.
I do, and it's great.
Oh gosh. You know, there's something that I wrote down that I really want to bring up, and I hope that it hits with someone. And the only reason I'm really pushing for it is because I'm in a really much happier place than I was before. Um, Here I go. I just caught myself. I was gonna say not to knock my ex because I'm trying to not blame. And
Mhm.
sometimes I'm definitely a little too forgiving. I think it's okay to be upset for a little while,
Sure.
rather than just being like, it's okay. Um, but I'm happy now, but I saw myself kind of going back to certain patterns that I was doing with him. And so I'm like afraid to speak up and afraid to do things for myself and just wanting to be more of someone else's life because I feel happiest with them versus creating my foundation like we were talking about. And so I was really listening to those types of songs and things like that. Like I said, I'm in a much happier place and everything like that. I'm very excited with my direction that I'm going in every aspect of my life, relationship with kids and, seeing somebody, and then of course businesses and things like that. But I want everyone to hear this because the more I listen to my songs, like the more healing I have, and then I go back and I listen to them, I'm like, oh my gosh, Alma, how this song was a little powerful, scary. Like, I can't believe you lived that. And that's why
Right.
I made them. And so what I wrote down is that abuse isn't always abuse like the movies. It's
Right.
it's silent. It doesn't have to be physical abuse. It's quiet, it's gradual, and that's why one of the songs was Walk Into Your Worth, because my biggest thing about staying in that relationship as long as I did was the fear of, well, I'm not getting beat up. What do I have to complain about?
Right.
We have good jobs, we have good kids, we have this, we have that. Although, why are you complaining? What are you
The
so upset about?
perception is
Right. And it took me a long time to recognize, and that's where that song Walk Into Your Worth came into play, because it wasn't me being abused physically and then that's my excuse to leave. He didn't cheat on me. Well, then what are you complaining about? You know what I mean? But no,
right.
there's
But if
there's
you're
a
being
whole other
gaslit
aspect.
and
Yes.
all of those things, that is. Yeah.
So stepping into what I know my worth is and recognizing that I wasn't there was huge.
Right.
So I just really wanted to put that out there for everybody, because it took a lot for me to leave, just because your stereotypical bad marriage wasn't there doesn't mean it's a healthy relationship.
Right. Well, and I think that we're very, very quick to get married. And I'm not talking about me and you, society.
Hmm.
We're very quick to get married these days. But social media, life, everything, the way the world is structured, it's not structured for relationships to last. It's very hard when there are cracks in the foundation for them to last forever, right? It has to
Right.
be a strong foundation internally, individually, and then together. And so I think that that's where we're seeing all of these. We're just a bunch of broken people, right? And we have to heal ourselves. And I think that that's where this podcast comes from, right?
Right.
Is that we can be kind, but we don't have to be nice. We don't have to be fake nice. We don't have to shrink ourselves. We don't have to put up with other people's bullshit. We can find our tribe. It doesn't have to be our blood family. It can be
Yeah.
whoever,
Blood or
it can
not.
be, yeah,
Yeah.
right. And I think that was one thing that was really drilled in my head. And I love my blood family, you know what I mean? But I've learned that there are people out there that are not blood family that will ride or die for me the
Hmm.
same, if not harder, than people that are blood, right? And so I don't go by that motto, like just because it was drilled in my head as a kid. Like, I don't believe in it.
Yeah. But I like how you talked about foundations, because I don't think that you and I were shown, and you might feel different. What does a foundation look like? What is a foundation for a man and a woman, and then man and a woman together, a marriage or whatever it is? What does that look like? So we just kind of grew up like piecing together, maybe like clay or mud pies or something, to create
Mm-hmm.
our foundations of what we
Right.
thought it looked like. And so now that we're older and we want and we recognize we don't have a strong foundation for ourselves, well, now we're piecing together what we hope it should look like and feel like.
Like we think we're creating a vision board, but it's like a collage.
Mm-hmm. A
And it's
messy
not
fucking collage.
a messy fucking kindergarten collage. And it's
Oh,
purple
I'm
glue.
messy.
Like we're not even in glitter, little glitter on there.
Legit,
I like
legit.
glitter. Yeah.
100%,
All
man.
right. So last question. If you could sit down with the version of yourself from 5 years ago, what truth would she not want to hear but desperately need to hear? What lesson did life have to teach you repeatedly before it finally sank in?
I wouldn't say it's sunk in yet, that's for sure.
I know, always evolving.
I was sitting here having that conversation, like I said, with ChatGPT, and like literally every 2 seconds was like, can you just like give yourself some grace? Can you just like calm down? Like one time ChatGPT was like, let's take a breath now. Like,
Right.
don't tell me what to do. But I really need to learn to give myself some grace, and I'm okay. You know what I mean? But I beat myself up over constant what ifs, and well, am I what ifing too much? It's just like this back and forth. But I need to be kinder to myself in the aspect that No, I'm not perfect, but I'm on a pretty gosh dang good path and I have a good head on my shoulders. And I need to trust a little bit, trust in myself a little bit that I am doing okay. And I need to just live in the moment and be okay with myself.
Absolutely. You've
Yeah.
gotten yourself through every single day thus far.
One day you're going to have to play that song that you made for me because that's kind of where I always think about that song that you made for me because it was a lot about giving 110%, right? Even in a situation that I probably shouldn't be in because
Yep.
that's who I am. And so it's a little bit of a fear. Like I'll say the what if am I giving 110% in this situation? Should I be? Well, crap, I'm doing it anyways because that's what I do.
Right. Right.
So, but
Yeah.
what about you?
I mean, I think the biggest lesson I've learned a lot. These years, the last couple years have been tremendous in growth for me personally. But I think the biggest thing, again, correlating to my pattern, is just because someone is interested in you does not mean you have to accept their invitation.
Did you have to say that? So what you're saying is that if someone messages me, "Oh, you're beautiful," I don't have to say thank you. I don't have to talk to them. What?
I know, and it took me forever because, like, I don't want to be mean.
Yes.
And I feel like they took the time to say a compliment. But at the end of the day, I'm a married woman, and it doesn't fucking matter who took the time to compliment me. Fuck you and your compliment. I have a man that I love, and I don't give a fuck about your compliment.
Right.
He thinks I'm
Right.
beautiful. Thank you. Yes, my husband agrees. If they pressure, that's what I say. My husband
Right.
agrees. Thank you.
That's a good comeback. That is definitely something I've been struggling with is like because it doesn't end if you say thank you or whatever. It doesn't end with that. Then it kind of follows up
No.
to more and more and I'm like I thank you. I appreciate it,
Even if I
but
wasn't married, that would be my
yes.
go-to. My husband agrees. Thank you.
That I got to find strength in that because I realize that we're working on, my thing is I'm done being nice, but I still do it. I still
Yeah.
catch myself. I'm still doing it. Same patterns.
We're always learning. We're always learning. But yeah, no, I think just because someone is interested in you does not mean you have to accept their invitation. And baby, it is freeing when you figure that out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'll test you. It'll test you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait for everyone to hear my song. It's like my favorite song. Have it on repeat.
Can you send me the file?
Yeah,
Because I don't think I can download it.
I'll have to send it to you. Because
Send
there's
it
one
to
I made
me.
for you, and then there's the one that you made for me.
Send okay. Well, we'll figure it out. All right, thanks guys for listening. As we're being a little crazy and deciding what song we're going to use for this week's episode. Um, what I would like for everybody to think about though, because we do want you guys to get something out of this podcast, is what's one pattern you're finally ready to stop calling fate and start calling it a choice. I am still always working. I want to work on my pattern of negative self-talk. I know you kind of touched on that too, but my internal dialogue there's a pattern of going dark, right? It's a dark talk, and I want to change that because baby, I'm great.
And I'm the other side. I'm too damn happy and I'm hiding everything with happiness and joy. Look what I could do like all the time, right? So we're on different ends. So I hope that everyone sees that you don't have to be, you could be in the middle. It doesn't have to
Right.
be dark. It doesn't have to be too happy. Like everyone's every aspect, but um, improvement, growth, all of that's really important.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, I really